Hi, so it's Amaya again today, and I'm here with my developing adolescent. So my adolescent was an 11th grade boy. So I guess the age range for an 11th grade boy would be like 16, 17-ish, I want to say. At least that's how old I was in 11th grade, I think, and I'm not a boy, but still. Um, yeah. So what I think 11th grade boys are they they're very complex because sometimes you don't know if they're like the outgoing ones or keep to themselves. Like my cousin, he was very outgoing, but I do have another cousin who should be in 11th grade now. He's very reserved and quiet, so they vary when it comes to like personalities and development, like all people, because not all people are alike. So this is like a rough guesstimate of how 11th grade boys would be like. So 16, 17 year olds would be like. So here I have Dylan. I drew him. His name is Little Dylan. And he says, "Hi, I'm Dylan. And even though I'm 16, I'm still growing." So this is for his physical development. So what I have here is physical growth continues because boys just don't stop growing until they reach a certain age. I should have looked that up when they stop growing because that would be nice to know. So yeah, they keep growing like trees. So we also have body hair continues to grow down here. So that's when they really start having to like shave their facial hair if they haven't started already. So facial hair, armpits, body hair everywhere. Body hair is just out there. And now we have participates in more physical activities to build strength and growth. So, like my cousins, they all played some type of sport. There was basketball, football, and they all were able to grow in their prospective sports, if that makes sense. Because if you notice, basketball players are more slimmer, have smaller legs, and more agile and everything. And then football players, they're a little bit beefier, but they're still buff and beefy and have those thick necks. So they develop in the sport. So yeah, I found that pretty cool when it came to the physical development of boys. So I have the social and emotional development. So they can have a tough time showing their emotions. You can't really see that, but a tough time showing their emotions or just opening up in general. That could be a little hard for them. And they can sometimes act on impulse because they're at that stage in their life where they want to do more things. They want to be more independent and like see the world without their parents. So yeah, they could sometimes act on those impulses. And like I said, they can crave more freedom. So they can go wherever they can find it. So that's either like getting a job or just when they're learning how to drive. That's where like most of them start to get their permit license or whatever. So yeah, when they get their cars, they're just more independent and they're always searching to find it. And they could also start to build closer bonds with friends and family, because this so on the social aspect, this can go into like when they start becoming more independent and they go out making their own friends, so they get their little social vibes going, their little hangout friends, and could be around them a lot more. So you could barely see them, and then when they start to come around more with the family, they could be more and more social because they'll be excited to talk about their friends. So on the cognitive level for Dylan, I put he is able to think on a more abstract level, so his thoughts are more complex and probably more deeper than what they were in like years before, because he's actually understanding that things don't always have to be black and white. There's a gray in the middle, and that gray can be whatever you want it to be. And then we have the his moral compass, his moral sense, so he knows how to best determine right and wrong. Um, he knows how to reason in a more inductive and deductive manner. And because he's still in high school, he has developed adequate organizational and time management skills. So he has all that on his plate because little Dylan here is very involved. And he says, oh, and then another thing is the I know everything complex. Like, we know. Like, you know everything. Like, you think you know everything, but you really don't. So 11th grade boys really develop that I know everything complex. And then finally, for language development, little Dylan. He understands how to take apart long directions to like get the true meaning of what's going on. And vocabulary development is very rapid. He learns about 7 to 10 new words every day. So his vocabulary is just constantly developing. And let's see. His stories will be way more thought-provoking and engaging because he has all those words in his vocabulary box to make them more engaging. And finally, the use of more figurative language to expand that vocabulary. So yeah. So what I learned from like 11th grade boys is that they're a different breed than how I was when I was in 11th grade, because I don't think I was. Well, I did have some of the things, like I know everything. I did have all that. But other than that, they're like a different breed of like how we are, how they develop. And like I said, not every boy is the same. So I just did this based on what I think little Dylan would be like, because I basically made his personality. So this is all based off of little 16-year-old Dylan. So I hope you enjoy it.